Show. Theology. We're sorry. You're welcome.
Hi guys, welcome to Bottom Shelf Bible Study. I am Jesse Cole Ward. This is Peggy Caroline Murphy. Today we are diving into the book of Daniel. Big old who's who of rad information going on in the lion's den. And we have Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fire. You got a man turning into a wild beast. It's super dope. So how we start in the story is Babylon. The very first time we ever found artifacts or written law at all from ancient civilization was Babylon's laws that they found written on stone even. Why is that relevant to our stories?
No, you are hitting it right on the head.
Babylon seized Judah when in Jerusalem, and because they seized them, Nebuchadnezzar, who was king at the time, decided, hey, I'm going to take some of these with me. I'm going to give them new names. I'm going to put them through school and all sorts of shit like that.
He did. King Nebuchadnezzar would go to the places that he wanted to take over. Kidnap, for sure, the good-looking kids. He was a good-looking ones
and the smart ones.
The ones that look like they were capable of learning, and the ones that don't hurt my eyes when I look at them.
Yeah. Hey, Mom, you don't look worried at all.
So he took them to their new homes, his new Babylonian homes, and he wanted to acclimate them to life as a Babylonian. Babylonian name, and thus forth, they were Babylonians. And anyone who didn't make the cut didn't matter because you guys can stay here and do whatever the hell you want.
Right. We're going to Israel. You mean ugly town?
So all of the previous 7s were now 10s, and I think it was a win-win for everybody. Daniel and his buddies were among the few to make the cut to go to Babylonia. Their new names were given to them, and it was Belteshazzar.
Wait, their names aren't easy to say, are they?
Formerly known, but will always be known as Daniel. And then, what were the other 3 names?
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yes. Those 3.
And every name shall have 13 syllables.
But none of them will have as many letters as my name. My Nebuchadnezzar has silent Z's, F's, and Q's. Flows right off the tongue.
What do you call him?
King Nebuchadnezzar.
King Nebuchadnezzar.
It hurt my tongue. Crap. Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, King Nebuchadnezzar is way easier to say.
Yeah, at first I was like, who are you talking about? She's like, King Nebuchadnezzar.
Because there's a lot of letters in Nebuchadnezzar. Like, my baloney had an Nebuchadnezzar. Also, when I read it at first, I was saying Nebuchadnezzar, and I kept going until
until you landed on Nebuchadnezzar.
King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylonia.
Which means
he was a Babylonian.
Nice. Sleuths. I love sleuths.
That's excellent. So Daniel and his buddies, their whole heart was of God. And
I love that.
I appreciate them for this. They were like, well, this isn't where we'd choose to be. We're still going to do our best. So anything that they gave us task-wise, they're going to do
the best.
They did really good work, actually, as well. It wasn't just that they were really pretty.
They weren't just pretty.
One of the first things that are of note, they were fed the king's diet, which was just
shit.
Come to our time now, known as gout, right? It causes disease. It was just fatty meats and delicious wines, and the king needed his guardsmen to look as fed as well as he was. And so they all looked like dog shit.
Sign of wealth. I don't want to be the only one around here looking like shit, so.
I have money and people need to know it, but I can't let them see my money so they'll see me looking like shit.
We need to go see the other towns and we get more good-looking people here. This is depressing.
You guys are all really letting yourselves go.
I can barely get a heart on anymore. What are they doing over there in Judah?
Daniel convinces the eunuch or the guard that he is not going to eat the king's diet.
But this dude's like, hey, the fuck you're not going to eat his food because he's going to kill me. They call me old-fashioned, but I don't like getting murdered.
So they come up with a little plan. They're just going to test it out for like a week and a half and see how it goes. 10 days goes by, and damn it, Daniel looks even better than he did.
Great abs.
Can't believe it. So yeah, from then on, he got water and vegetables, and they were eating clean, staying right with God. And so Years go by, and the king has a dream. But he will not tell anybody this dream because it was his dream and it bothers him.
Somebody needs to tell me this dream, and I can't tell you what it is, or you'll know what it is.
He calls in all of his wise men, his magicians, and this, that, the other to interpret this dream that he will not speak of.
I get real Humpty Dumpty vibes when I read this, and all the king's horses, and all the king's men.
Yeah. The first one to go up to speak to him says, sir, what you're asking is crazy. Like, right. You can't tell us to interpret this dream and then not tell us the dream. So the king's like, so basically you can't do it is what you're telling me. Seems to me you're not quite so wise. Death to you all. Only need to hear from one of you. But now everyone who has ever been categorized as a wise man is dead. I said good day. The eunuch comes out. He's like, I knew I wasn't overreacting with Daniel. So he goes to Daniel and he's like, bad news, guys. You got to die today. Daniel's like, whoa, wait, what? All of us?
Is it the vegetable thing? He hates vegetables.
So Daniel goes and talks to the king and he's like, you will give me one night and I will interpret your dream.
Whatever you want, Daniel.
Anything for you.
Dreamy.
You're gonna sleep
Daniel.
with me. You can sleep in my bed tonight. Goes home, talks to his buddies, and he's like, hey, we got this.
He's like, hey, so guys, we got a thing. We kind of got to come up with the meaning for the king's dream. And everyone's like, Daniel, you piece of shit. All right, what was the dream? He didn't tell me. What do you mean he didn't tell you?
You're always getting us into these little...
Oh, Daniel!
So he had his prayer. He goes into the king the next day, and blessed by God, he was given the clarity on it.
I love what he says. Just pay homage where homage is due. Blessed be the name of the God forever, for wisdom and might are his, and he changes times and the seasons. He removes kings and rises up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise. He had knowledge to those who have understanding. He reveals deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and the light dwells with him. I thank you and praise you, O God of my fathers. You give me wisdom and might, and have now made known to me what we asked of you, and you have made known to us the king's demand.
Heard that. Again, astrologers, magicians, soothsayers, none of them could do it. Oh, but Daniel did. Daniel and God did.
You said nobody?
He was then bestowed gifts and more gifts, and then also a pretty big title. He got just elevated, and...
Love that. All right, so after this, King Nebuchadnezzar built an image of gold, is what it says. Hey, that looks like you, Nebuchadnezzar. He's like, oh yeah, I didn't notice.
It's really big. Yeah, put it in the middle of the city. Now, there's a decree ordered. It is commanded, people of nations and languages. Is he ready?
Yeah.
At the time you hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, the dulcimer, lyres, zither, horn, planes, trains, automobiles,
Kazoo?
a kazoo,
A banjo?
a clarinet, a trumpet, saxophones, trombones,
All the bones.
and all kinds of music. I hope there's the tambourine playing monkeys.
Well, they're going to be here, but King Nebuchadnezzar stupid killed them all. Why did he kill him? Oh, because if you don't stop what you're doing when this music plays and worship this statue, you get yourself thrown into a furnace. That's right. DJ Nebuchadnezzar's beat just dropped and you best get funky, bitches.
It's like musical chairs, but like there's not enough space for you. Guess what? Furnace time. So that's so good. But you know what? The three buddies, my homies, couldn't do it. What are their names?
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yes. They were not going to do it. They were not going to bow down to anything that isn't God. Their God. Our God. Your God.
One true
there is
living
but God. And so there were some tattletales amongst them that were like jealous of the Jews. They were Jew jelly. And
I love that.
They went to Nebuchadnezzar's and
Nebuchadnezzar.
they went to him and said, the best time of the day is when we get to worship you.
My favorite. Tell me, I was just telling you earlier before we got here how much I love worshiping King, our King.
You. There's like, 3 Jews, crab shack, patty whack, and the other one.
Yeah.
They are not doing the thing. Tattletales they were.
So you need to make an example of them.
And burn the Jews.
And burn the Jews. Oh, man. There's a pattern in history. A lot of people don't know this, but Hitler was actually of Babylonian descent. Yes, Babylunatic, actually.
He's the big old babble baby babble. So King Nebuchadnezzar calls the three men up and he's like, is this true, gentlemen? At the sound of the guitars and the harps and the lyres and the zithes and all of the noises, and they are very much like Daniel. They're just like, that is correct. One more chance though, really, because if you don't, there's going to be a burning, fiery, flaming furnace. In fact, I'm going to turn up the heat 7 times.
What's it? Do you have like a thermometer for that? They're like, what's 1 unit? How do you times it by 7?
And these guys are just like, you know what? We don't have to defend ourselves. We will never bow down to anything but our God.
This is unprecedented. They had no thought in their mind that they were going to be saved from this fire. They thought it was my God before anything. Wants to come to your bullshit.
It wasn't to do it just to be a martyr. It was the principles, right? We have clear instruction from God, and that's actually it. He has the strongest of his soldiers go take them to the fire, and this fire is so hot that people are just like burning up as they get there.
Right. Like it says that the guards that threw them into the fire died. He throws them in the fire, and not only do they not die, but there's 4 people in the fire.
That is the 3 that we threw in, right? And then the other one there looks like one of the sons of God. Go find out what's going on. They're like,
Go find out what's going on.
it's really hot in there, though.
Hey guys.
Where's too many?
You guys gotta get out of there. Like, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to burn you anymore.
So they pull him out, and here the 3 men come walking out unscathed AF. Not only are they unscathed, they don't even smell like fire. They're like, you guys smell wonderful. We appreciate this. Robes aren't burned, hair's not singed. They are just, this is a mind-blowing miracle. And you can see it a little bit, that no one is allowed to say anything bad about their God.
I've decided I'm not going to burn you anymore.
You're lucky I'm so generous. Just nuts to me, but he did. At least, I guess that's baby step, right? He didn't let everyone else talk crap. What happens next? Is it a dream sequence?
Is he dreaming again?
He's dreaming again.
All those seasons.
All them seasons. Nebuchadnezzar is having these dreams, and he doesn't want to tell anyone what they are, but he wants everyone to interpret them. Daniel's the only one who can do it. Why? Because Daniel's cool with God, and why wouldn't he be? Both ways. Really that is a two-way street I want on.
I think God's a lot more chatty than people think that he is. And I think that listening to God is a honed skill that you develop through, like what these guys are doing, where you seek after the Lord and you don't deviate from that.
There's a calm to them. They are...
Yeah, very Matthew McConaughey, yes. Don't I know I was trying this morning, sucking on a Blue Jolly Rancher, just tasting all the beauty it had to offer. My dad always said, you're talking to a paint can, not a brush. I was just like, wow. In an existential way, I did some acid on a movie set once. I still don't know where I live. I'm just blowing my mind.
Right. In any success that they encounter, they always acknowledge that God had his hand in it.
So Nebuchadnezzar basically has this dream where there's this huge tree, like grows incredibly big. It's beautiful, provides shade for every animal. And then an angel of the Lord comes and chops this tree down to basically turn into a wild animal. Mm-hmm. And leaves a stump there, and he's like, Daniel!
Oh, Daniel. What is it? Whatever could it mean? He means that you need to fucking shape up or ship out. You want to be big King Daddy Tree? Yeah, you have dominion on these things, right? You can do it and let things thrive, or you can just focus on yourself and think that you did it on your own and Mother Earth and God had nothing to do with it.
And when's Angel Danger?
Stop, don't touch, leave the area, tell an adult. Angel Danger, stop, don't touch, leave the area, tell an adult.
Angel Danger.
Or you'll be struck down.
Oh, and
by the invisible army of God.
And I will humble you, God says.
I will humble you.
And I'm on the edge of my seat. Please fuck this up, Nebuchadnezzar.
One more time.
So, the other dream interpretations, too, it's basically a foretelling of the other nations and the fall of his kingdom and things like that.
Oh, that's fun stuff, yeah.
And it is great. But the best part is he didn't tell anybody, and Daniel just comes in here just knocking his socks off.
Oh, yeah.
King Nebuchadnezzar tries to give him, like, more presents and more lavish things. He's like, I don't want anything like that. I don't need this, right? Like, yeah. I am not doing what I do.
You want me to give this to the poor for you?
So, right? Yeah, you are clearly, you have too much. 12 months goes by and the kingdom is thriving, and Nebuchadnezzar and Daniel are walking down the hall. And
He's walking with Daniel?
Yeah. Look at my kingdom and look at all of it. And then thunder comes crashing in. God's like, oh my God. Who did what? I'm God. Sends him to the fucking fields like a wild animal to eat like an animal and drool and fucking lose his mind, and he is just straight gone.
Very bones and shit.
He's driven away from people and will live with the wild animals. You'll eat grass like the cattle. 7 times will pass by for you until you acknowledge that the Most High is sovereign over the kingdoms of men and gives them to anyone he wishes. King Nebuchadnezzar, your kingdom was not yours. You did not have it because of you. Hilarious. Immediately, what had been said was fulfilled. He was driven away. He ate grass like the cattle. He was drenched with the dew of heaven till his hair grew like the feathers of an eagle and his nails like the claws of a bird. And at the end of that time, Nebuchadnezzar woke up from his rest, or disease, opened his eyes, sanity restored, and immediately praised the Most High. He honored and glorified him who lives forever, that his dominion is an eternal dominion. His kingdom endures from generation to generation. All the peoples of the earth are regarded as nothing. He does as he pleases with the powers of heaven and the peoples of the earth. No one can hold back his hand or say to him, what have you done? And this was just, God gave him so many chances to see the glory that he be, right?
Yeah.
And just refused. And this one was, that was a special one for King Nebuchadnezzar. That gives me goosebumps.
Right.
And you know what? He now praises, exalts, glorifies the King in heaven, and he gets it. He sure does.
All right, thank you for hanging out. Couple of things. We're going to have a bonus episode on our Patreon. Patreon.com/Bottom Shelf Bible Study. It's kind of cool. It's actually our very first time we ever tried to do an episode. Went into it pretty blind. We didn't have an idea what we were going to talk about or anything. Just hit record and you can go see how fun that was. That's one. Super fun. It's just a bonus episode for anyone who's into the show. Talking about like phone books and shit.
Good puns, little few puns.
Peggy hadn't read much of the Bible yet at this point. Peggy is learning the Bible as we're going through this, and fervently, and her desire to read is kind of what inspired the starting of this whole podcast. So
this is excellent. Yes, I had so many questions.
Yeah, we were just going through the Bible together, and I was just like, we're having interesting conversations that I don't think most people have when going through the Bible. So let's record this and see what happens.
Yeah, no, and I am so excited because I have done a 180 on 180 of it, right? Some of it.
Yeah, one every week. I'm getting busy.
Not only do I not know everything, but I'm a real dick sometimes. It's cool. Yeah, it is. And it's fun. Thanks for learning with me. I like it. I want more opportunities with which to learn and follow your nose.
They say 6 degrees of separation. I don't know what it means, but again, like the podcast. Share the podcast.
Well, welcome back to the show.
Theology. We're sorry. You're welcome.